Also come back, untitled scoring, add event period, and pre-PAP start.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the starting of my diagnostic section of
Okay.
the split.
Mhm.
And then you'd let this run for 2 hours, you check your report, make sure that they meet criteria, whatever.
Mhm.
And then untitled scoring, add event period, you're gonna pre-PAP stop. It's the end of your diagnostic section.
Mhm.
And then now, if you remember, we did not connect to the TX link.
Yeah.
So we need to add the TX link into our recording in order to be able to control the PAP.
Okay.
So we've pre-PAP stopped. What we're gonna do is we're gonna briefly stop the recording, which is this red button up at the top over here. We're gonna hit stop recording. It's gonna say, are you sure? You're gonna say yes, stop recording. You're gonna give it a second. Once this room number disappears, like it just did,
Mhm.
now this red button is the resume recording button. No longer
Oh,
the
okay.
stop
So we don't
recording.
have to. Okay.
So now I'm gonna
We don't have to
resume
pin
recording.
or anything. Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
gonna change this to the Emory PAP.
Ah,
Add
okay.
PAP into the thing, and I'm gonna resume the recording.
Right. I saw. I think what I know what you're
So
saying.
it's gonna
Yeah.
go through and it's gonna connect to
Yeah,
it.
that would have made more sense.
Gotcha.
This
Yeah.
is when you can get up, go into the room, put the mask on the patient. They're gonna wanna go to the bathroom, they can do that. And by
Mhm.
the time all this connects, you can come back and not have to sit here and wait for all this to happen.
Okay.
Oh, I usually do that after. I
Mm.
split, go in the room.
Then put the mask and
Yeah.
everything, and then I come back, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
fine.
you wanna kinda adjust your timing, because sometimes this will take a little longer to connect. And so right
Yeah.
now, everything connected, now we look back at our device status, and now we've got our TX link here
Okay.
as well.
Oh, okay.
So on the computer, we can minimize knocks.
And then you gotta go over there and
We
open
got
up.
Finder Easy Care.
Mhm.
This is the older version, so you don't have to log into it. So once that pops up,
Mhm.
and it should just connect.
Cause usually when I'm having a split, I'm gonna have that open anyway.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should already have it open.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that open, cause I troubleshoot
Yeah,
that
menu.
too. Sometimes you have to open that up.
Connect, and we're in room 1. That's gonna be a little different than what your other res meds are, because they can only see one device. But
Mhm.
when we've got things set up, you'll be able to see a bunch of different
In
devices.
case you need to swap it out, like say if you
Well,
have an issue with
you-
the ResMed, can you take one ResMed, just say, God forbid, something breaks down, right? And you're only running, say a CPAP in room 2, and you gotta,
You
say
got a
borrow
ResMed
the,
over there.
borrow the one from 1 to take to 2, would it recognize it?
It would, but I would still say call tech support so they can tell Nocturnal to
Okay.
recognize it.
Okay.
Oh,
They'll be able
okay.
to add that into Knox, and then your computer should be able to see it.
Okay.
So who's tech support, did you call you or
Yes.
resident?
Our tech support.
Okay.
Knox tech support, 844-475-3376.
I got it.
We'll put labels on these computers with the Knox tech support.
Yes,
number.
thank you.
Like we have those, so.
Yeah, so menu, connect, and then whatever bed you're in, route 1, we're gonna connect. And then your ResMed window should stay
Oh,
kind
oh.
of floating on top of everything.
So this part takes a little bit longer than,
That's why he says to do
That's-
it when we're ready to go in.
yeah.
Yeah,
So he can,
it can take its
Formulate
time
and,
and do its stuff while, instead of you being ready for it.
So don't wait till 1:55.
Yeah. Sure.
Would it hurt, like, say, like, because most of our patients are like splits, right? Would it hurt to start the study, before we start the study, could we have the CPAP already added?
So you don't
Would
have to
it hurt?
stop it. Mm.
Yeah, we would still recommend doing it this way.
Okay,
The reason that we do that is once you connect to the ResMed, it's gonna think, even if it's not on, it's gonna think your patient is on 4 centimeters.
okay.
So if you were to go through and generate a report on that split patient,
Okay.
it's gonna think they were on 4.
Oh,
For
it's
that
gonna read out on the
diagnostic
report.
report.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, your PAP duration is gonna match to the total reporting time.
Okay.
Not from the time you've turned it on.
Right, right.
The TX Link is a bit of a bully when it comes to.
Yeah,
'Cause he's
okay.
gonna
Which
be
is
like,
why we don't
Yeah.
wanna turn it on until you're ready to use it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you can have it pulled up, that's fine, you just don't wanna connect to it.
Okay.
Right.
Until you're ready to.
All right. All right.
So as soon as you connect to it, then it knows it's connected and it's gonna start pulling that information even if it's not
Mhm.
turned on.
Okay.
Okay. Oh boy.
So, we've added our
It's
path,
bedtime.
we've got everything connected, so now untitled scoring, add event period, and now we're gonna PAP start.
Mm-hmm.
And now our titration section is starting from here. And again, just to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, F2, starting CPAP with
So,
whatever.
yeah, I mean, you already know what happens, right? I already see it.
Wow.
It was glowing.
Nice
I didn't
big,
see it.
nice big sticky note.
Yeah, that's nice.
And so that, you can stick that in there. The advantage of the ResMed and the digital connection is that when I bump this person up to 5, you don't necessarily have to change anything in Knox to tell it that you're at 5. It already knows that you're at 5.
Where do you see the pressure?
I didn't pull it up here, but I'll show you that in a second. But what you would still wanna do, because again, you're gonna get those questions, when did you change the pressure? Why did you change the pressure?
Yeah, put a sticky note.
I'll show you. It is.
Pressure increase for
Yeah.
whatever.
Increase to 5 centimeters for scoring, whatever.
Mm.
And then you can line that up with wherever you added that pressure change. The other thing that you would wanna do is, we've been working in a PSG tab. We'd wanna make or have a PAP tab up at the top here too.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that we would do that is that this would have your PAP flow, your PAP pressure, and all
Mhm.
those other things kind of pulled up. So if I turn this connection on,
So it doesn't come up on the PSG screen?
I will add it when we
Okay.
fully make it.
Yeah, it's gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
So wouldn't we be able to just change it to a CPAP montage at that point, or no?
Yeah, so
Yes.
what I would suggest that you do is your montage should have a PSG and a PAP sheet as part of it.
Right, right.
That way, you don't have to change your workspace, but you
Mhm.
can just click from the PSG that has your flow, your thermistor, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Just click over into your PAP sheet. That'll have your pressure, it'll have your thermistor removed, it'll have your, whatever else you wanna add to it.
Right.
the beauty of the digital connection is we get 13 channels out of the TX Link.
Mm.
You get flow, pressure, leak, pedal volume, respiratory rate, IPAP, EPAP.
Oh, you get all of it
all
on
of that
the.
stuff.
Yeah, everything.
So it's not
So right now,
analog connections with flow pressure.
Right, right.
it knows we're at 5.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about the ResMed. They give you the flow, the respiratory rate, and all of that.
It puts in a setting tag on its own,
When'd you get it?
and it bumps itself up to 6. in
Oh,
the
okay. Mm-hmm.
But again, you still wanna make sure that you're putting in an increase to 6 because I felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be fired tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
David be calling them.
Just
What do you
because.
see like? Why do you read
Why?
this?
I increased just because.
Mm.
Morris, if you send me the text, can you please explain why I see like this?
Why did you feel like? I don't know.
Mm.
Patient was having events.
Knox Medical told me to do this.
In their room for the 15th time.
And so when we go through and we make those sheets, we'll have a PSG and a package. And then from there, you can edit things and then save it as your own.
Okay.
But I always recommend having both of those pulled up. That way, if the patient happens to split and they weren't to split per se, you already have all the signals there available to
So you
use.
couldn't put it on once the study starts?
You can put it on once it starts too. I mean, you could come into this PSG if you really wanted to, and you could say, okay, I'm not using flow anymore. I'm just gonna
Just,
turn this off.
yeah.
Just remove the
That's
channels.
basically what So,
And
and
just
then,
add that
and
one.
then, and then you can
And
add the
so-
CPAP components to that screen?
Yes.
If you want?
So I can come over here, flow, I could remove the signal, and then the
Mm-hmm.
signal is in data, and then anything parentheses PAP is coming from the CPAP machine.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've got flow parentheses PAP, that's my C-flow,
You check it, it comes on
check
the
it,
screen?
and add that to the screen,
That's what we like.
and you can put it wherever you want.
That's what we used to instead of two
Mm.
separate pages.
That's fine.
So
The
we can
reason-
see events.
Yeah, you can see event stuff, but then you wanna make sure that you've scored all of your diagnostic
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
I
Mhm.
always
onto the
do
zone.
it. I
Yeah.
always go before it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we can do that one
Would be
too.
nice for it, like, oh, I don't wanna see this. I'm done, I'm done.
It's the same thing, you can turn off your thermistor, you can remove your thermistor, cause
You
you're
just
taking
right
it out.
click it, find it.
Yep, right click, remove signal, and then you come over here. So what do you usually have on your PAP studies? Do you have pressure, flow, leak, or just flow?
I usually use the TX link for all of that.
Yeah.
But the only thing I have on my montage is the flow and the leak.
You
We
have the
have
link on your
what we-
montage?
But the leak is at the top too, but I like for it to be on the montage as well.
Okay, so you can come here, signals and data,
Mm-hmm.
and then we find, it's in alphabetical order. So leak, parentheses PAP, so it means coming from the CPAP.
Mhm.
It's gonna add to the top of the screen, but again, there's no settings attached to a thing that you're adding. So it's
Mm.
just a line. If you want the numbers, right click, show values,
Okay.
and then if we look at the numbers, they've got all these decimal places. So if I go into the properties, I can say I don't want automatic decimals, and I
Mm-hmm.
want decimal places 0.
Okay.
And then it'll make it whole numbers for
Mm.
your leak, and then you can take it and put it wherever you want on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Space bar to resume.
Yeah, I like the ResMed because it give you a true leak, not that, you know,
We have rest-
because I had to change that Omni to the unintentional leak because I'm like, why is this leak saying 53? I'm like, why is it? Yeah, why is this leak saying 53? So I had to change it to unintentional because the unintentional, right?